Hello, everyone. So, the footage you're about to see is taken from a live stream that we did just the other day. And rather than giving you a deck tech up front, this video is going to be an evolution of a deck over time. I played this deck for about 3 hours on stream, and this deck went from iteration 1 to iteration 2 to iteration 3. So the deck itself went through so many changes that it really wouldn't be fitting for me to do a deck tech up front. What I will do instead is show you the games and show you a little bit of intermissions between the games, showing how I, with the assistance of my chat, helped to upgrade this deck into its final form. And at the end of the video, we will do our usual post-game wrap-up. But as far as like the deck tech, you're kind of going to be seeing that as the video unfolds. So I do hope that this is not too weird for you and you do enjoy the video still, but watch through the video and you will see the deck evolving over time. So here you are, enjoy some games, and I'll see you at the back end of this video. Take care. Okay, so this is 3 red sources, no white sources. However, we do have Geological Appraiser, and we can discard Trumpeting Carnosaur. So it is entirely possible that we could draw into a white mana source. So let's find out. So we're going to play the Hidden Volcano first. I want to give this a few more chances to prove itself. If we keep getting stuck in matches where we just are not doing a damn thing all game, then we're probably going to be shifting this deck up pretty heavily. Picnic Ruiner, huh? That might be the end of this game. Let's see. Or not. We just get rid of that now before he has a chance to protect it with green mana. There's a Rockfall Veil. And a Cacophony Scamp. What a little scamp. Swing in for 2. Possibly more. Giant Growth. There you go. You will take 5 damage. Alright. Next turn, we'll play this mountain here, and then we're going to play a Geological Appraiser and see what we can discover into. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We get a Lightning Helix, but he does have 1 green mana open, so let's see if he has a protection spell in hand. And he does. Can't say I was surprised. He was holding exactly 1 green mana open. He is also down to 2 cards in hand. Alright, cool. Let's see here. Let's play the Wojak Investigator. Okay, opponent plays a mountain. 2 cards in hand. It's the same 2 cards that have been there for a while, so I'm thinking they might be more like Snakeskin Veils or combat tricks of some sort. If he does have like something like a Giant Growth, he can feel free to attack him with a Cacophony Scamp. It turns out to not be the case. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to play an Anam Pakal, and then I'm going to attack for 2 with Vigilance. And he takes the 3. Another Cacophony Scamp. And a land. He's got 1 card left. Okay. That explains why he wasn't doing too much with that hand. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this Abraded Bluffs. Pop him in the face for 1. And then we're going to play the War Leader's Call. And then we're going to attack, attack, attack. Very good. World Leader's Call, World Leader's Call is not a legendary enchantment. But for an effect like that, it should be legendary. Hermano. I don't know what he could possibly be holding to just take all that damage and not throw away the Cacophony Scamp. Nothing good, unfortunately. And he's slicky. Yeah. Yeah, I think he just saw the writing on the wall there. Let's take a look and see what is working versus what is not. So, what is working is World Leader's Call, is Lightning Helix. Novice Inspector, if you draw him on turn 1, sure. Attentive Scribe, not so much. Ossification. We have Tinker's Tote. Wojek Investigator. Wojek Investigator is kind of putting in work. I do like it. Geological Praiser is really good. Caparocti Sunborn. His Discover effect has not been relevant yet. At all. So, here's what I'm thinking we do. Is we ditch the Caparocti Sunborn. Increase the Geological Praiser by 1. Increase the Wojek Investigator by 1. And let's see here. Then we have Aurelia, Bonehorde, and Trumping Carnosaur. Out of each of those, I think I probably want an additional Bonehorde Dracosaur. So, now what are we looking at here? Let's count up the rares again. See where we're sitting. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're at 15 rares. And I don't think I want to go any heavier than that on the rares. So let's take a look at what else we can do with this deck. So we have the Attentive Sunscribe. Is there a better 2-drop that we can use in this card? So it was about this time that I kind of realized that the deck was not really going in the right direction. And this is not the last time that we ended up going back to the editor's table to find a better direction for this deck. So rather than just show you all of the myriad cards that I mulled over and agonized over and tried to figure out exactly how to shift this deck into the right direction, let's just cut to the chase and move on to the next section of the video. If you want to see the entire thought process during the deck building, you can go check out the live stream. The live stream is up on the channel right now as a VOD, so you can go ahead and take a look at that completely unedited. But for the sake of time for this video, I'm going to cut a little bit of that fluff out. So, here you go. I think we might be getting close to where we need to be with this deck. So let's take it out there and see what we can do. Plains, Mountain, Abraded Bluffs, Ossification, Wojek Investigator, Lightning Helix, and Geological Praiser. It looks like a decent open, so let's see how decent it is. Alright, turn 1, I don't have anything to do, so I'm going to play this tap land. Our opponent plays a Force into a Rust Vine Cultivator. It has a 1/2, it's a tap put an oil counter, or tap remove an oil counter to untap target land. That's an odd card. Very odd. So, go and play that right there, and then I'm just going to end the turn and wait to see what you play on your turn. Hold this Lightning Helix mana open. Okay, he didn't do anything, and I'm going to be playing Wojek Investigator next turn, so I'm just going to kill it now, so I don't waste my turn. There we go. Investigator's in play. Okay, third forest, we have Nissa. Alright. We are off by 1 land, but we're not off by Ossification mana. So we're going to rip up that Nissa, and then play a Novice Inspector. Investigate. Attack for 2. As long as we can keep our mana down, or keep our hand size down, we can keep drawing tokens. Hey there, Nax. How you doing? I just started, I think a couple hours ago. And we're just working on the white and red discovery deck. And so far, it's not looking too hot. But that is totally okay. Not every deck is going to be a certified banger. Okay, we'll just attack with this for 2. And like, I do have like just one like hardline rule for this deck, or these upgrade decks, is I want to keep them at 15 or fewer rares, because I want them to operate on a budget. Yikes, Vorinclex. That's not good for me. Because I want them to operate on a budget. Because these upgrades are specifically for new players. And the way it's looking right now, it's like I might need to just go into like a full aggressive build in order to make it competitive, which kind of sucks because like I would really enjoy to like have like a more mid-rangey feel to this deck. I can't attack. Vorinclex has reach. But I think there are about like 8 or 9 decks in total that we can upgrade. So this is just the first one. I see what you're saying there. Like, yeah, like the way I would want to structure it is, here's what you start with. Here's what you can upgrade it with using 15 rares, and then here's like your final form version where you have like a fully upgraded build. Yeah, that is definitely in my mind of things to do. Absolutely. But here's the thing is, I think we've already lost this game. Because I don't think we can keep up. No, we cannot keep up with this. So here, we'll just play this, and we will quietly move on to our next game. Good game, Mac Diesel. I think we're going to need to go back to the drawing board on this deck. This deck is a little too disjointed. It's not doing what I want it to do. So, because this deck is a discovery-based build, we want to keep the discovery cards in. Anything else can really go whichever way we want them to go. So I'm going to definitely keep the 2 Trumpeting Carnosaur in and the 4 Geological Appraiser. The other cards kind of So at this point in our deck building exercise, we've gotten to the point where we've realized that what we're doing isn't really working too hot. I'm finding that we are coming up $1 late and $1 short when it comes to our resources. And so a person in chat, guy who goes by the name of Farquad Gaming, had a fantastic idea. What if we implement treasures? Now, there are a few ways to go about it, but one that sounded really interesting was utilizing crimes with Magda the Horde Master. And Magda, what she does is whenever you commit a crime, once per turn, you can create a treasure token. And you can also sacrifice 3 of those tokens to create a 4/4 flying haste scorpion dragon. Now that sounds kind of cool. That doesn't sound too shabby. Now, if we can work out a way to build a treasure-based Magda crimes and discovery deck and still keep it under 15 rares, or 15 or below, I mean, then I think we might have something good on our hands. So with a little bit of brainstorming, with myself and a few of the people in chat, we were able to come up with something very interesting and actually really fun to play. And I think you're actually going to enjoy what ended up coming out of this brainstorming session. Now, I'm cutting a large chunk of this brainstorming session out of the video because otherwise this video would be damn near an hour and a half long. It was a long section. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to copy out the session and I'm going to release it as its own video. So if you're interested in the brainstorming session and the deck building process itself, I will put a link in the description to this other video once I have it go live. So you can have a peek at that and just enjoy that for what it was. It was a pretty fun brainstorming session, I'm not going to lie. So, without any further ado, here's the rest of the video. Alright, let's take another look at the deck. Here's the stats. 24 creatures, 11 non-creatures. Okay, cool. We're already in the right direction, because this deck wants to have a lot of creatures. We have 25 lands, plus all of the tokens to create additional mana for us. So, we're looking at Getaway Glamour, we're looking at Lightning Helix, and Ossification. That's our removal package. Our creatures are Novice Inspector, Dust Animus, Generous Plunderer, Magda. Then the Skewer Slinger for lulls, and then we have Geological Appraiser, Bone Horde, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. Trumpeting Carnosaur doubles as removal if we discard him. Atali's Favor is also part of the Discover package. Bone Horde is quasi-Discover if you get to untap with him. And as far as crimes are considered, Getaway Glamour is a crime. Ossification is a crime. Generous Plunder is a crime. Skewer Slinger is a crime. Lightning Helix is a crime. The Discover package gets you crimes. We have 4 crime lands. Yeah, I think we could be doing alright with this. You could also blink Animus for +1s and lifelink and crime. Dust Animus. If you control 5 or more untapped unlands, Dust Animus enters the battlefield 2++ counters a lifelink counter on it. Yes, if you can Getaway Glamour the Dust Animus, and still have 5 untapped lands, because you maybe you pay for the Getaway Glamour with treasure tokens. That'll keep your lands untapped. You can get the Dust Animus back untapped for a sneaky blocker. But when does it come back? Okay, it comes back at the beginning of the next end step, so it's not like Scroll Shift where it would come back immediately. It would come back at the end of turn. But it's still useful. Plus it has the modal effect of destroying an opponent's big creature. Yeah. This could work. This could definitely work. Now, let's look at our lands. Our lands are Hidden Courtyard, so that's another Discover land. We also have the Hidden Volcano for Discover. We have 8 plains, 8 mountains, 4 crime lands, and 1 copy of Inspiring Vantage. So, you know what? I like where this is going. Let's take it out there. Let's apply our styles. Let's craft our cards. And let's play some Magic. Okay, what do we have this time? There's a red sweeper that does 2 damage to either... Yes, that is true. I think that might be more of a sideboard option, though. Granted, it would have been great in that matchup, but I think that is like more of like a best of 3 option for sideboards, specifically because it doesn't commit crime. Plains, Abraded Bluffs, and Hidden Volcano. We also have Magda, the Appraiser, Bonehorde Dracosaur, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. It almost looks like we're playing mono red here. Alright, let's go with the Hidden Volcano first, and we'll play Magda next turn. Or not, they're playing black. We're going to play this. We're going to play the Novice Inspector first. We're going to wait to play Magda. When I see swamps, I see 20+ piles of removal. I should know, I play a lot of black. Okay, yeah, we'll go Megiddo Magda, and come in with the bluffs, pop them for 1, get that treasure token, and swing for 1 damage. Okay, so we are up against what appears to be Golgari midrange. So far, all we know is they have a Maso Dreadnought. Okay, they're playing Phyrexians. Come and watch some TV. It's ancient Phyrexians. Do we want this? Or do we want Bone Horde? I think we want this. Because this might get us removal, which would be a crime. That's not a crime. I don't need that. No attacks. Could have really used a crime there. Alright. Mosswood comes in. Thankfully, the bloated processor can only discard, or only sacrifice Phyrexians. Alright, it's Carno time. I'll take it. Nah, I'll just block with the Mosswood and draw more cards next turn. I'll wait. 6 mana for a Trumpeting Carnosaur and a Bonehorde Dracosaur. Not bad. Not bad at all. Though now I am like I got like lightning rods on my head for his removal. Pick your poison. Okay. And Glissa. They're coming with that Mosswood? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. Generous Plunderer, Bonehorde Dracosaur. I think we're doing the Dracosaur. Can't really attack into a first striking Death Toucher though, so we're just gonna chill. Glissa makes combat so awkward. Okay, he gains 1 life from the Jungle Hollow. Surprising to me that people still play the gain life lands. Skyfisher Spider. Alright. Sacrifice the Phyrexian. Kill my Bonehorde. Sounds accurate to me. Alright. Generous Plunder comes in. Let's draw a card. Okay. That's good for next turn. But you're still making it very difficult for me to attack you, you jerk. No attacks. Jesus. Wow. Yeah, that kind of screwed me. Next game, please. Yeah, that was perfectly placed too. Yeah, old Gixie boy. He does a great job. Gix the creature, Gix the spell. He's a pain in the ass. All right, I will keep this. This looks like a decent hand. We'll start with not the Abraded Bluffs. We'll start with the Novice Inspector, because it is entirely possible that we could draw into a mountain. Ooh, we see mono red. Mono red aggro. We might have game against this. Okay, so we did not draw into it. So instead, kind of have to play the Abraded Bluffs this turn. I will not attack, because your deck is full of haste creatures. Any of these new decks you're looking forward to upgrading / dreading? Looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to upgrading the red-green dinosaur deck, because I think that deck is very straightforward. No real gimmicks attached to that. Dreading, I don't really think I dread any of them. Actually, no. I will say that I'm not looking forward to upgrading the white-green mounts deck. I think that the mounts, I personally feel, is kind of a gimmick and is not that great when it comes to what's the term? Like, as far as like all the different like mechanics that came out of the most recent set, I feel like mounts, if you're like building like into mounts as a mechanic and not just using good cards that have saddle, I think it's kind of bad. Let's say I need to do this now, because as soon as he untaps, he'll be able to evade my Lightning Helix. Okay, plays a Cacophony Scamp, and another Kumona Faces Kakazan. Alright. I will take the 4. It's fine. Alright. Let's play a land, and we will play... Do we want to play the Generous Plunder? Skewer Slinger. I think we want to play the Skewer Slinger right now. I think white-green is pretty strong in draft. Like, the Seraphic Steed on its own, even if you don't saddle it, like a 2/2 first strike lifelink is really strong. Especially because it only costs 2 mana to do. I'm really happy to hear that, John. Because I did put quite a bit of work into that deck to make sure that it worked well. And so I'm very glad to hear that it's doing good work for you. Jesus, this guy's going to town. All right. And that blocks there. That blocks there. Yep. Ow! Stop it. Oh, he gets to sacrifice it and proliferate. When he sacrifices it, he just throws it at my face, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, GG. But yeah, getting back to the point on the White Great Mounds deck, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm sure I can make something work with it because it is a very straightforward mechanic. But it will be, like I said, it will be straightforward. It will probably be a lot easier to build. But I'm not necessarily like looking forward to doing that deck. But I do really enjoy doing these upgrade guides for new players. Oh Jesus, this is really bad. I'm gonna have to mulligan down to 5. Come on, that's only 1 land. There's 25 lands in this deck. I would like to do a deeper dive into like the history of certain decks, but I do only have so much time. Because like I am not a full-time content creator. I can put out as much as I can over like X amount of days, but I do work a lot, so I will get to each deck as I can. But like as far as like digging into like the history of certain decks, it is really fun. I do really enjoy it. Yeah, take action. Make tokens. Thank you. Alright. I think I need to ossify that. Because he's just gonna dump his entire hand next turn if I don't deal with that right now. Give me a Novice Inspector. I think a lot of the white-green token stuff is rotating out to make room for all of the new white-green token stuff. Because I don't know if you've been keeping up with the spoilers, but white-green is all about the tokens. It's all about rabbits and rabbits multiplying. Oh, thanks for making that Calyx larger for me. Now I can use Getaway Glamour on it. Ooh. Even dumped an extra thing on it. Yeah, take action. Okay. Well, let's oh, hang on a second. We might be able to do both modes. Yeah, let's yeah, we can because we have the treasure token. Okay, so let's go ahead and go next. Going to attack with the Plunderer. Plunderer's going to pop you for 1. Then we'll Glamour and do both modes. Target a non-token creature. We exile that and destroy that. Autopay. Yeah, you get to draw your card. And that comes back. Yeah, white-green is like all about rabbits, rabbit synergies, generating a shit ton of tokens and pumping the team. It's going to get even better when Foundations comes out, because Foundations is giving us an anthem that only costs a single green and a single white. It's going to be the best Anthem that we have access to. We need to draw a card. That's still not good. Alright, let's go and put that up. Even if I attack in and he blocks with the Catilda, he's still going to gain 2 life back, and then it's going to become an enchantment for the other thing. I'm kind of at a loss here. I really can't attack. Also, check out this dude's name. Mudge Curdle. What the heck kind of name is that? It's an awesome name. Yeah. That kind of sucks. Take action. But at least he attacked with it now. Ooh. Let's get to trumpeting. Give me something good. Yeah, it was alright. Oh, I'm surprised. I expected him to double block the Generous Plunderer. Yep. 5 you get. Take action. Take action. Oh, I like that. Okay. So let's start with an attack phase. Okay. Now let's continue with that. And I think that might be the win, unless they have something. Nope, they don't have anything. Otherwise they would have dealt with the Trumpeter. Yes! They did not have anything for the Trumpeter. I will be completely honest. 100% transparency. I will let people know that this is a deck that you can play. It is a pretty fun deck. But it may not be the most powerful thing out there. Though, your mileage may vary, whereas I'm not having the best of luck. That doesn't mean that other people won't. I've played so many decks for the channel in the past that didn't do as well for me as they did for other people. Like I've had decks that had like maybe a 54% win rate, and I've had people come back and tell me, "Yo, dude, thanks for the deck. I won like 8 games in a row with this thing. I'm fucking climbing, bro." And was like, you know what? Your mileage may vary, and I'm happy, so happy that it worked out for you. Oh, mono red again. Lucky me. Alright, let's play this. Let's plot out that Dynamis. Reckless Impulse. Wow, he's not even playing a creature this turn. He probably didn't have one to play. Let's see here. Now, let's play the Abraded Bluffs this turn, so that we can play the Geological Appraiser next turn. Alright, we get an Itching of Kumano. Pass. Pass. Take the 2, which is going to turn to 5. Oh, no, it's just 2. It's like our opponent is moving a little bit slowly today. I'm okay with it. Alright, my turn. Yeah. Is it the Arena Shuffler, the Matchmakers? Like, you can get any amount of just weird ass matchups. What I find really funny is when I try to build a deck that is just off the wall and I think that no one's gonna play it, the matchmaker will immediately find me a mirror match of what I just built. It's fucking wild. Alright, we got ourselves a Skewer Slinger. You better watch out. I'm gonna kebab ya. Granted, it's a pretty good defensive creature. I mean, it basically reads as a 2/3 reaching blocker. I mean, it's not the worst. And the fact that it does commit crimes. Yeah, it really is something else. Oh, come on. Fine. Yeah, we'll block. They'll both die. I have not seen that card in a long time. Alright. Mountain. Dust Animus. And... oh, no. We're gonna hold on to the Getaway Glamour in case he tries to mess up my creature. Alright. Lightning Strike. Throw another thing at it. Token creature to exile that, and then deal to that. Autopay. You better do this right, Getaway Glamour. Exile my thing first. Okay, that works. Cool. Now your board is completely empty. That works for me. Alright, let's go and play the Volcano. Right now our opponent's in top deck mode. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and play the Plunderer. And then we play the Atali's Favor on said Plunderer. And discover 3, which is going to be Magda. Welcome to the party, friend. Play planes. That is a pretty cool alt art for Magda. I like that a lot. Aw, man. What a joik. Yeah, let's make some tokens. Alright, Novice Inspector. You know, let's do this Discover thing over here right now. We might find something good. Or another Novice Inspector. Attack. Take 1 extra damage. This is typically the part where a mono red deck just kind of quits. But apparently not. Alright. But we'll play the Appraiser first. Whatever. Getaway Glamour. I'm just gonna put that in my hand. Look at that. Then we'll exile your guy. And then... there's the concede. Okay everyone, so here we are with the post-game wrap-up. And after 3+ hours of gameplay, consulting with the chat, brainstorming, and figuring out exactly which direction we want to take this deck in, this is the final product. So what we have here is we have a deck that still sticks true to the Discover mechanic, but we kind of cut out all of like the swarm mechanics that the deck was also showing off. Like the deck was kind of like disjointed in like 3 different parts. It's like it wanted to run Swarm, it wanted to run Discover, it also wanted to run just like a bunch of just bad cards, honestly. So this is where we ended up. So with the Discover, we have Trumpeting Carnosaur, Geological Appraiser, Atali's Favor, with the quasi Discover of Bonehorde Dracosaur and Hidden Courtyard and Hidden Volcano. So we have plenty of ways to discover cards in our deck. And the Discover train kind of runs like this. Trumpeting Carnosaur is Discover 5, which will get you into Bonehorde Dracosaur or Geological Appraiser, which will then in turn get you into either Atali's Favor for another Discover 3 or any of these other cards in the deck. Removal wise, we do have a decent removal package. We are running 2 Getaway Glamour, which is a modular spell that allows us to destroy a creature that has the greatest power on the battlefield, and also gives us an opportunity to flicker our discover cards back into play. So if we want to choose the first option, and we happen to have a Geological Appraiser or a Trumpeting Carnosaur on the table, well, we can flicker them back in and get them to discover again. Well, with the exception of the Geological Appraiser, you do actually have to cast that in order to get the discover. But not so with the Trumpeting Carnosaur. That card just wants to come into play to trigger. Anyways, Getaway Glamour is one of our removal spells. We also are running 3 copies of Ossification, and we are running 4 Lightning Helix. As well as when you discard Trumpeting Carnosaur, you can deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. So, decent removal package, decent amount of creatures to play with, and a little bit of draw in the form of Novice Inspector and Bonehorde Dracosaur giving us extra cards, and of course the Discover mechanic acts as a kind of draw, but you draw a random card off the top of your library. Now, as far as how I feel about the deck as a whole, as a starter deck upgrade, it's pretty decent. The first 2 iterations of this deck, they were falling flat pretty hard. But this version with Magda the Horde Master, Generous Plunderer, giving us a bunch of treasures, allowing us to cast our bigger spells faster, that is really strong. And I cannot state enough how good Magda and Plunder giving us treasure tokens, allowing us to play a Trumpeting Carnosaur on like 4 or 5, how strong that is. Like, it is a very strong play, especially if you end up discovering into more discover effects. It can snowball really hard, really fast. Matches where you're going to struggle. Hardcore control matches, you're gonna struggle, because this is a mid-rangey Boros deck. It's not your like Boros balls out aggro style of deck. That deck that's something else. That is probably a deck that's not going to run a lot of discover. It's going to run a lot of like front loading damage. Decks where this excels against is surprisingly other aggro decks. Decks like Mono Red, decks like Boros Convocos. Like, those decks kind of fold against the raw value that you are presenting with your Discover mechanic. The Discover mechanic really does a lot of the heavy lifting in this deck as far as getting you to things that you need. Like, when you play a Geological Appraiser and you get into a Lightning Helix or, say, a Skewer Slinger, surprisingly enough, like, these cards do great work at helping to get back to parity on the board, like making sure that your opponent doesn't get too far ahead of you. And as we all know, free spells are kind of busted. Getting all this extra value. Like, remember one game I played a Trumpeting Carnosaur into a Bonehorde Dracosaur. That is so much power and toughness on the table, as well as value on the table for only 6 mana. It's really solid. So, against other mid-range, it's going to do well. Against aggro, it's going to do well. Against control, you're gonna struggle. But I think that's a little bit to be expected with a deck like this. So that's the deck. You've seen the games, and now that you've seen them, go play some games of your own. Iterate further on the deck if you want to spend some more wild cards. And as always, take care of yourselves.